ESPN senior writer Brian Windhorst. This morning you said on First Take, whoa, shout out, First Take, good for Brian, huh, Wilbon? You said on First Take that other teams in the West do not respect the Thunder as title contenders. What are you hearing about this?
Yeah, I mean, whether you want to say it's don't respect them or don't fear them, however you want to say it, it's something I've noticed over the course of this year, that when you hear players or coaches talk about their pathways in the Western Conference, some of them openly want to be on the side of the bracket as the Thunder. And I've even talked to people in Oklahoma City about this, and I don't think they care, number one. And I think, number two, they recognize they have the youngest team in the league, or at least one of the two youngest teams in the league. And when you have the youngest team in any league, in any sport, you're not going to fear that team. But this is a team that won 57 games last year, was the number one seed. They're on their way to winning 65-ish games this year. They've been out front the entire time. They got a 12-game lead or something like that. They're probably going to have the MVP. He finished second last year. He's probably going to be the MVP this year. They got the reigning coach of the year, Mark Daigneault. And yet, it's a tough place to play. They have 5 home losses. That's it. And yet, when you listen in the league, there's nobody like, oh my God, the West goes through Oklahoma City. So they're going to have to earn it. And I think they recognize that. And to me, it just really makes them more of an interesting team going to the postseason, being such a great record and having that status or lack of there.
They're loaded, and nobody thinks, oh yeah, Oklahoma City. They're loaded. They got everything, right, Brian? They're not missing anything.
They could use some more shooting, and that could hurt them.
Okay.
But they're so loaded at everything else that it may not matter.
Yeah. Let's move to a team that people still fear or fear again. The Warriors, who've been rolling with Jimmy Butler, whatever they are now, 12-2, I think, and without Jonathan Kuminga, but Kuminga's going to return from that ankle injury, we're told Thursday. So how are they going to work him back in? Is this going to be a bonus right away to get Kuminga back in that lineup after such a long absence?
Honestly, I don't know if he's going to play that much right away.
Really?
Because the Warriors are playing so well. Guy Santos, who's taken some of his minutes, has looked so good. And guys, look, when they got Jimmy Butler, they were in 11th place. Steve Kerr came out and said on the record, we're just trying to get to 6. We want to avoid the play-in. We've been on the play-in the last 2 years. Last year we didn't make it out of the play-in. We're just trying to get to 6. Guys, they're 12-1 with Butler in the lineup. He's a perfect complement for what Steph Curry needs to do. He gives them so many things they don't have. And they're a couple games back of the Rockets in 5th. But look at the teams in front of them. They're all hurt. Lakers lost LeBron. Third time now, Aaron Gordon with the Nuggets is out with the calf injury. We don't even have a timetable on him. The Rockets haven't had Fred VanVleet for the last month. I'm not even sure how he's going to get reintegrated, and they just lost Amen Thompson for a few weeks. Memphis, Jaren Jackson Jr., second-degree ankle sprain. He's going to be out a few weeks. The path is opening up here for the Warriors. And look, Draymond Green said a couple of weeks ago, this team can win the title. And I ignored it. And by the way, that's also kind of a low-key shot at the Thunder because, they're 26 games back of them. We don't care. But Draymond said that for a reason. Whether it happens or not, he said that for a reason. And it is opening up for them. And they got to stay healthy. Jimmy Butler has got to continue to thrive in his role. But the Warriors are becoming more dangerous by the day.
Amen to that. I agree with you. One team that isn't dangerous to anybody but itself is the Phoenix Suns. This annoys me greatly, Brian. Are we watching the last few days of Kevin Durant in a Suns uniform? Is it inevitable?
Probably. Now, it's the NBA. The last thing you ever want to do is put anything in stone, so I wouldn't say for sure anything, but everything points to them making a Kevin Durant trade over the summer. And the reason is that their top 3 players, Durant, Bradley Beal, and Devin Booker, are the highest earning trio in the NBA. Next year, their salaries are $150 million. They are 30 and 35, okay? I cannot explain why they're 30 and 35. They should be better. Maybe they're not a championship team, but there's no way that this collection of talent should be 30 and 35. And it makes no sense to run that back. They've changed coaches. They've changed supporting role players. They have not been proven to be a quality team with those 3 together. Well, Devin Booker is in his 20s and has no intention of going anywhere and is under a long-term contract. Bradley Beal has a no-trade clause. He is underperforming his contract, but you cannot trade him. And if you do trade him, you need his permission, and it's going to affect what you get back. You don't need to be a high-level analyst to figure out what you got to do here. And I know that the Suns know this, guys, because they did try to trade him. They talked to multiple teams at the deadline. Durant was not involved in the process, and I think that bothered him. That's one of the reasons why he said, hold on, I don't want to go anywhere. And in interviews he's given since, he's not been mad at the Suns for doing that, but he's said, I want to change teams on my terms, which is code for, okay, if you're going to trade me, you can trade me, but we're going to work together, and I'm going to know where I'm going to go. So I do think that's where we're headed, and I do think the market for Kevin Durant is a big story in June and July. Yeah. And of course, you're going to want to know where he wants to go. Well, I'm not sure yet. Let's see how the season ends. Let's see who's disappointed. Let's see who's not disappointed, and see how that market develops.
Knicks.
Thank you so much, Brian. It's always
Brian, that's
great to have you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care, guys.
Let's take one last break. Still to come are the Falcons serious. Happy time, people. Happy 69th birthday, Dale Murphy. The outfielder played 18 years in the majors, 15 with the Atlanta Braves, where he won back-to-back National League MVPs in 1982 and 1983. In 1982, Murphy batted .281 with 36 home runs and a league-leading 109 RBI. In 1983, Murphy batted .302, again hit 36 home runs, and again led the league in RBI, this time with 121. In his next two seasons, Murphy led the NL in home runs with 36 one year, 37 the next. Both seasons, Murphy had at least 100 RBI. Murphy was a five-time Gold Glove outfielder. Unfortunately, Murphy played in only one postseason series in 1982, and the Braves were swept out 3-0 by St. Louis. And somewhat surprisingly, Murphy is not in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Tony, he had that great run, and he was shy of 400 home runs, and maybe batting average wasn't thought to be high enough, but he had some impact, didn't he?
I think it's like Don Mattingly.
It is.
It's the same sort of thing. Happy anniversary, Syracuse and Connecticut. On this day 16 years ago, the two schools played an epic 6-overtime game in the quarterfinals of the Big East tournament. That's 70 minutes of basketball. The Orange won the game 127-117, but UConn went on to the Final Four in the NCAAs. This game took 3 hours and 46 minutes of real time. It ended at 1:22 in the morning. Syracuse guard Johnny Flynn led all scorers with 34 points in a game-high 67 minutes. Connecticut guard A.J. Price led the Huskies, 33 points, 61 minutes. Kemba Walker, then a freshman, shot just 4 of 18. But 2 years later, he would lead UConn to the national championship.
Johnny Flynn, maybe that helped him get drafted ahead of a guy named Steph Curry.
Steph Curry, yeah.
What a game.
A melancholy trails to Junior Bridgman. The basketball player and businessman died unexpectedly yesterday at the age of 71. Bridgman had a fine career in the 70s and 80s as one of the NBA's top 6 men. 12 seasons and more than 13 points per game. The Lakers drafted him out of Louisville and later traded him to the Bucks in the deal for Querim. But Bridgman's business career was the true marvel, variously owning 450 fast food restaurants, a Coca-Cola bottling distributor, Ebony and Jet magazine, and most